if somebody is a thief, declaring their asset is going to stop them from stealing, especially after they have been vetted for that office. Mahama is a backward thinker. That is the problem we have. Okay, or a backward thinker, because when we are thinking about digitization, he's thinking about how to give the guys kinky and fish. You understand? When we are thinking about building harbors and stuff for them, he's thinking about how he can give them how do they call it, premix. So his thinking and way of doing things is always backwards, and that is why the few intelligent people around him are able to use him. When his brother was in opposition, even the one jet alone, he was hard to parade it. The moment the brother came into power, now all of a sudden Ibrahim Mahama has 2 jets. And I'm not saying he's not a rich man, don't get me wrong. Through his brother John Dramani Mahama, they've stolen a lot. They've stolen a lot of money. There's a lot of money through it, because you know what? Appiah say, Mr. Bansa, me uni aketwa. What you say? Now we were in a position. Now we need a position, no. Maybe we are to me the infant to dim, so you have to put it in my name.
Of course.
Isn't that what Okudata Blocker said?
Yeah. That the house.
How can you tell me, say, your sister who is a student, okay, whom you sponsored to go abroad to go and study, is the owner of a mansion you are renting? That's the chairman of the oral committee, by the way. What is the guarantee? Mr. Bansa, the fact that I've declared my asset means that somebody will not steal in my department. Do I know who is coming in there and the mentality they are coming? Maybe I want to go there as the sector minister to bring a change. But the people I'm working with, honestly, they say, Ubenius can't tell. Who has said that when declared, is that going to stop that person from corruption? No.
Viewers, welcome to Coda Media TV. This is your favorite program, the Buga Buga Show, which has been off the air for a fortnight now. My name is Fifi Abisechi, your new host. My guest today is your one and only Felix Appiah, a regular face of this program. Today, we'll be looking at what President John Mahama did yesterday by submitting his assets declaration forms to the Auditor General in line with the requirements of Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution, urging his appointees to do same by 31st March or face the consequences. According to President Mahama, this action of his determination to fight corruption, dito. Viewers, let's listen to what he said when he met a group of people.
I was just looking at the statute on assets declaration, and under Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution, it names the President, the Vice President, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Members of Parliament, and judges. And then again under Act 550, Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets, it includes public officers, including those in the civil service, public corporations, and statutory boards. Then it also includes chief executives of all public corporations. It includes district chief executives, and then members of the Council of State. There are many people in public office who do not know that they are covered under this assets declaration regime. And so, Auditor General, there must be a reminder to all these people that they are covered under the assets declaration regime. And so I have presented mine this morning, and let me make a few remarks. Senior government officials present, the Auditor General and staff of your department, we're very happy to have you here this morning at the presidency, friends of the media. I've just performed a simple but brief, very important act of presented my completed assets declaration forms to the Auditor General as required by Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution and the Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets and Disqualifications Act 1998, Act 550. Ghana's assets declaration regime and its related activities have often been shrouded in secrecy, and only unless in special circumstances compliance is often difficult to measure. In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting some openness and transparency into the process of assets declaration. I've always maintained that while it is all well and good to punish corruption, a more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shown on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the declaration of assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. Even as we strive to hold past government officials accountable for their stewardship, I deem it even more imperative to enforce anti-corruption among our present public office holders. Charity, they say, begins at home. I'm therefore determined to take the necessary steps to ensure that we fight corruption vigorously so that the precious little resources that have been entrusted to us by the Ghanaian people are used only in their interest. There have been issues raised about the effectiveness of the current assets declaration regime. We must take advantage of the current constitution review process to strengthen the assets declaration regime to make it more relevant to changing times. I believe that we must move to a regime where the assets so declared can be published before and after public office, so that the phenomenon of unexplained and overnight wealth obviously earned through the proceeds of corruption can be checked. I trust that a healthy debate can be had over this issue and consensus built on the way forward, so that collectively we can defeat the unwholesome canker of corruption. I thank you for your kind attention.
Viewers, you've heard the president. I'm happy that he has stated his desire to fight corruption and is ready to start it from his own home. As he has said, charity begins from home. Charity begins at home. Felix, you have heard the president.
I actually got a chance to listen to the video that you had showed earlier, and I will give my commentary on it as you have requested. I will just need now when we want to talk about accountability, as today's program suggests, or as today's broadcast suggests, accountability should not only be done when you are being called to. I believe that anybody who hold public office say fine na sonson yes say we and say obey declare what you're supposed to declare. Mr. Basa, one thing people forget about this one, and they say when you come to where we live, okay, when you come to this part of the world where we live, you cannot hold an office, especially an office that is representing a country, like we have the ministers, MPs, and stuff like that, without you being or you declaring your assets. And it is something it is done in case of anything. In case of anything, records can be brought to prove what is going on. Now, what I see today in Ghana is the issue of John Dramani Mahama, Excellency the President, trying to show what a new word I learned today, window dressing, about how he is going to fight corruption. First and foremost, have you ever seen a thief that is, excuse me to say, investigating another thief I don't know if you've seen that. Have you come across that? Somebody is a thief, investigating his thief friend. I don't think that will give us any, meaning or give us any meaningful end. And that is exactly what John Dramani Mahama is supposed to, or is supposedly trying to do. Why am I saying this? All right. If government or governance is continual, do we agree? I mean, I like the interaction. Do we agree that governance is continual? If governance is continual, then one thing we must also be ready to know is say oba beton say ya prosecute will be and I say obeto say bibi or say prosecute you are meant to prosecute. Now, something like the quality grain scandal happened when John Dramani Mahama was a vice president. It was one of the top things that was said or top scandals happened in the history of Ghana, the quality grain scandal. Now, the issue is John Mahama became president for 4 years. He didn't touch that case. It had to take NPP government to come in 2017 to get most of these cases, like the quality grain case, get these people behind bars and some of them coughing out their money. So, Mr. Bansa, like I always quiz my people, what is really John Mahama's motive of this so-called I'm declaring my assets? And you know, one funny thing is that if you are saying you want somebody to declare their assets, I believe that you're supposed to know the assets of the person before you entrust them into any office. Do we agree?
Yeah, we do.
Mr. Bansa, can we agree on that?
We do. It's so essential. It's the first thing that must be done to lay the ground.
That is the first thing that has to be done.
Yeah.
But now he puts a trick that, my mom up to 30th. So by 31st March, mom may declare what asset there, you vacate your position. I keep telling you, he is just an afterthought type of person. John Mahama don't have a precise mentality. Say, a dear A, B, C, na me person me, and I may make sure say, may yes, man, you know. It is always afterthought. When he was on the campaign trail, isn't he like the same person that said the free education people were not being fed properly and was going to give them a coconut and all those things? He said all these things. He comes to power and he's actually telling you that some schools are not even for a year for. But on the campaign trail, he didn't say some schools are not for a year for, or say or the private school for the never free education. Or that is what he said. That is why I said he is a president that only acts after. And the reason is that he has surrounded himself with people that want his downfall or people that work towards his downfall. And because he's not too intelligent, I'm sorry, he's our president, all right. But when it comes to intelligence, he is nowhere. Mahama, intelligence is very low. And that is why he is able to spit and take it back. Okay? In this world, what I know is that as a man, your words are your bonds. You understand? So whatever you say, whatever you try to shift towards, you're supposed to put in the things that would allow you to see, the end of what you are trying to achieve. What do we see John Dramani Mahama doing? First and foremost, he came up with this thing called ORA. All right? Operation Recover or Loot. Meanwhile, the Attorney General that he nominated or he brought to us, okay, has decided that people who have looted this country, people who have done caused financial loss to this country, money SS and Kelko and here for Sika SS Equia for Sika SS Equa School for no. We have Fiscane Disca and Fanko Gina, Comedy, Sada, Comedy. People have lost their life as a result of some of these banking sector thing that was going on. Because I said, Usika da bank. It is frustrating. Okay? So when somebody who claims say, or what we call ORA, but will free everybody that is already being in the process. We are trying to recover the state funds from her. That shows you his mentality. Because that is what I'm trying to say. And the reason is he doesn't think too deep about the things he says. There is something that you cannot take away from Nanado and Dr. Baumia. And that is that these two people, when you hear them talk or when you hear them take an approach, you can see that this approach has been properly what? Thought through. And you print talk. Almost said that Sebawumi speech now or Kabibia. Or let's take, quick example about his manifesto. Like he brought. For every problem he himself identified, he showed us what we are missing from not fixing that. Then he shows you how he's going to fix it. Then he will tell you the result you get after fixing it. That is a thinking person. That is what we call a visionary. Somebody who thinks outside the box. John Mahama doesn't have that. You sit there and say Operation Recover All Loot, and you come and clear people who are in the system. Mr. Bansa, and some of these people have actually opened defense. Some of these people, the cases are going on. Some of these people, the cases have reached the part of settlement where they are supposed to pay money back to the state. And Ayene, Akoteringa or whatever Ayene decides to free all these people. Then guess what? 2 days later, after freeing those people, guess what is presented to John Mahama? Oral. And I will show you why again I keep saying that Excellency John Mahama, not General Idibuma from T. He can be a good man, don't get me wrong. He can be a nice, handsome gentleman. He can be a rich man. I'm talking about the tenacity and the brains to rule a country. That one is bankrupt. Mr. Banza, I will start off by saying this to buffer my point. What was the oral for? To recover all loot, right? Now, to recover all loot, what they have to do is that they have to let people come and tell them, oh, we suspect that Asimesia for a banker. Just a point in case. Yesterday, that silly Mustafa Bandi or whatever they call him, that moron, he disgraced himself on national TV with Egbert Fibel, or I'm like, whatever his name is.
It's Fibel.
This man was lying on national radio saying, Herbert has not submitted the official cast I had demand. Mr. Bansa, Herbert has received his letter of sack, and as a letter of he should leave office on the 17th. On the 18th, that was a Saturday, those cars were brought to the Ministry of Petroleum. Like the Petroleum Way. It was there. But he was so confident. And the only thing, you see, I keep saying this, the only thing about the oral is that it is not to win Ghana anything. It is not to bring anything to Ghana. It is rather to advance the stupidity of NDC, the foolishness of their mind, the way they want Ghanaians to think. Let us come and find all of them guilty in the public eye. Let the media find them guilty. So, even though no court has said they are guilty, even though no money has been found, so be a real scandal, let us just make them guilty in the eyes of the people. And the aim is one. Samosa made on Mahama, may Airbus official one there. And the Muslim making sure say, more prominent people, no, we are going to tarnish them. Mr. Bansaba, one thing Ghanaians have to know, say, and your Ghana even a saw John Mahama and sa. Say on in Samuel Adams Mahama. And got a special purpose vehicle. No more find a bribe about Airbus. Mr. Banza, are you the one who led him there? I can't hear you. Maybe
of course not.
Okay, and I'm sure it is not Koda Media that sent John Mahama.
Never.
It is John Mahama himself. And you know what? What is more criminal about it is that his brother never attended Legon. But in his brother's document, especially the passport, the Ghanaian passport that was guaranteed by the president, John Dramani Mahama, it shows that the guy had actually schooled in Legon. Meanwhile, in your own book, in Mahama's own book, his brother was taken away by the missionaries when he was young.
To
school in UK, to live his life in UK.
But that's criminal.
But to steal. You see, to satisfy his appetite for stealing. That is what John Mahama knows how to do. Satisfy his appetite for stealing. He joined with his brother to steal. So, when you have such a person leading a country telling you that he's going to recover all loot, and he's yet here releasing everybody that the law has found culpable, wouldn't him say, in the case of Atto Forsen and all these people, like he had he had actually asked for a plea. Mr. Bansa, the only reason you go for a plea deal is if you feel that, no, should this case go, through it, or I'm going to be in big trouble. So let me just cut it quick. Let them find me a deal and let me just accept. That is all it means. So when you have people cutting deals for something that they have done, and you, the Attorney General, come to tell me, say, Onipa na ono, enim se waye boniti anko say, say, let our forcing case go live, we shall pay back the money. Like, where is it? Like I said, the oral is nothing but to just tarnish people's image. Now he comes in with the next thing he calls declaring assets. Any smart human being in this country, okay, even in Ghana, there are certain jobs, Mr. Bansa, when you are going for it, they tell you to go and bring a police report. I don't know if you know this.
Of course.
But there are certain jobs, they will ask you to go and bring a police report. And the reason is, the office now, you do question, you say you show BBM who say, oh, you're crouching before we put you there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Bansa, do you understand?
Yeah, I
don't
do.
Fight corruption by saying that, oh, I took a thief to NPA. I did not know his assets. I did not know him well. I only got those CVs that they bring to the vetting, and that's it. So he should go to NPA. Then later on, I say, oh, there you. When you didn't call NPA no crano. Me said that you need to say there. Me mouth 31st, come and declare your assets. Couldn't this declaration be done before? And the main point, is this the first time asset has been declared? 2017, MPP MPs, about 39 of them that were in crucial spaces, crucial spaces. As soon as Nanado released his assets, right away, they also had to release their own because of the offices they are. But wasn't the NDC standing at the back still shouting corruption, corruption?
Yeah, they were doing.
In Nanado, everybody can check. 2017, Nanado declared his assets. I think on the 25th or 24th of when he started, declaring those assets. And like, guess what? In the first place, these asset declaration agencies are there. That you have to go. Only that it is not made public.
Yeah.
They go and then they do it. When you say you are holding some position, declare your assets. But we know, or in the broad, even to do it in the broad daylight, Nanado precedes that. But weren't this same NDC people sitting at the back after all the declaration and still shouting, so if somebody is a thief and declaring their asset is going to stop them from stealing, especially after they have been vetted for that office, Mahama is a backward thinker. That is the problem we have. Okay, or a backward thinker, because when we are thinking about digitization, he's thinking about how to give the guys kinky and fish. You understand? When we are thinking about building harbors and stuff for them, he's thinking about how he can give them how do they call it, premix. So his thinking and way of doing things is always backwards, and that is why the few intelligent people around him are able to use him. The way of thinking. Say Mahama, okay, and then what's our president? Not chiri.
But
and that is how he's been able to train his followers and his supporters. Now, let's talk about this whole declaration. Quick in a little, Mr. Bansa. Now, what are they declaring?
They are declaring their assets, what they have.
What assets? How sure are we, say, they are declaring all the assets that they're supposed to declare? Weren't we in this country, especially when Ibrahim Mahama's jet was nowhere to be found in action, but as soon as the brother came, he's been able to buy an S-jet.
A second jet. So he has.
Do you understand?
He has 2 jets now.
He has 2 jets now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
When his brother was in opposition, even the 1 jet alone, he was out to parade it. The moment the brother came into power, now all of a sudden Ibrahim Mahama has 2 jets. And I'm not saying he's not a rich man. Don't get me wrong. through his brother John Dramani Mahama, they've stolen a lot. They've stolen a lot of money. There's a lot of money through it because you know what? Appiah say, Mr. Bansa, me wuni aketwa. What you say? Now we were in a position. Now we need some position, no. Near maybe we are to me, the infant to dim, so you have to put it in my name.
Of course.
Isn't that what Okudata Blocker said?
Yeah. That the house.
How can you tell me, say, your sister, who is a student, okay, whom you sponsored to go abroad to go and study, is the owner of a mansion you are renting? That's the chairman of the oral committee, by the way. What assets are they really declaring? Are they giving us what they want us to know or what they feel, okay, this one is safe for you to know? And in any case, who does not know, say, Ibrahim Mahama has been fronting for his brother. Ibrahim Mahama is sick and never be when you're in a free buy one of the man.
So Felix, what are you saying? What are you insinuating?
I'm saying is that he steals and he puts it in his brother's name. And that is how his people are. What we are for? Okuda to broka, okowienska di kosidaya, okoto big man so sinimi or your student there. Na Ghana near Jedi, and they are hailing this stupid boy. These are the things that get me angry. This guy has stolen in broad daylight. Finally, come and show us the things you said you have. Come and show us evidence. All of a sudden, he's renting an 8,000 a month mansion and he's getting 15,000 Ghana cedis a month.
$8,000 or 8,000 Ghana cedis.
$8,000, 8,001 Ghana cedis. Airport sales, do you see? Do they pay in cedis there?
No, they don't pay in cedis. But
Chado, do they? Those who rent in Chado, do they pay in cedis? The guy is lying. He's a liar. He's a trickster and a thief. And that is why, to draw the attention from him, he's going about telling, look at the silly thing that happened. There's this third vice chair, Omari Wadie. There's a car he uses. I've actually sat in that car before. Because when we were going on the tour for the campaign, he was part of the team that was running with the second lady. So I had, and him, I knew him through Hoopson. Through Hoopson, that was how I met her. I'm like, Chema Wadie. And he has so many cars. And I'm talking about proper cars. He's not a poor guy. He's not a puppet. He's not a Sami Jenfi who stole Nkokwa and then graduated to become the owner of taking care of gold. No, he is somebody that has worked. These same oral people went and just in their own stupid thinking. That is why I said this party and this in Ankasano say uwomua two things. Say unya beifua wajune na enye juma. It is very simple. Okay? The car that this man has been using, those who know Chema Wadie knows this is his car. Didn't they go to repossess it? What happened? What happened? Didn't they come back and then apologize, bring the car back and then apologize to Wadie? So it is basically a book of he say, she say, ake. Yes, we are far away. Yes, Mr. Banks a real shoe. Collins a real shirt. Felix a real way. Yes. And they want to use yes.
To work.
Okay?
To work.
To buy evil eyes for people. That is why I said, for me, personally, I don't see why a thief should be what? Should be investigating a thief. It doesn't make sense. So now, no Abekacho say, or no Mahama, no, I have declared my asset. What shows that is all his asset he has claimed? Isn't it like the same guy who told us, say, he only has one bank account? So he only has one bank account. Meanwhile, in that same interview, he was talking about a Fidelity account that, or even that one, he doesn't use it that much. But he said his only account was his ADB. So in the same interview, John Mahama said his account, he only has one account. He doesn't have no offshore account. He doesn't have no account in Dubai. Meaning, the place your son lives in Dubai is your own.
How sure?
What job does your son do to afford those type of apartments? Show us. So Mahama should come and show us what type of work his son is doing to be able to occupy that place. Or he thinks that we do not have people in Dubai. We have people in Dubai.
Couldn't he be a rented?
We also have people in Dubai who see this boy.
Couldn't he be a rented apartment? How sure are you that it belongs?
Listen, in Dubai, even to rent an apartment is not a joke. That is what I'm trying to tell you. What job are you doing? Because right now in Dubai, sir, and I'm being honest too. A daya answer danya papa, a daya ketwa kura answer danya papa no. When you also went to per month to crown, you pay $2,000 per month.
Wow.
You can ask those who go to Dubai. All the people around him are rich. What job do they do? Sharafa, the small one who have started following him, he's a rich boy. What job does he do? What job has he done? Is it not because his father is a president? But Akufo-Addo is not allowed to be rich, even though his father was once a president. This is the stupid people we have in this country. Who only thinks one way? Who only thinks one way? We were here when Inusa Fuseni and them, these apartments and stuff. Who do those apartments belong to? Yeah. They belong to John Dramani Mahama. Yeah. They were his appointees. They connived to buy those properties together. In order to, you see, he's a criminal to the point, say, Odi Bonina, na Odi Akosobi. Sauba Kaya, when he sent Namele Ametepe with the cocaine to go, he later on came and tried to twist it and say, hey, MPP need more girlfriend. Meanwhile, everybody who knows you, John Mahama, who cannot keep your thing in your trousers, know Namele Ametepe was your girlfriend. That we didn't know. Who didn't know? And you know, on Kwani or Nipa, baby, a president on Kwan Efa, ready to coin, but to be the cocaine, Alpha, ready to crack over you, channel. Now, they sit down and they pretend as if they don't remember these things. Hey. They don't know Mahama. They don't know John Dramani Mahama.
So, Felix, what you are saying in fact is that his declaration of his assets as a way of fighting corruption is a non-starter. It's not the truth. It's not being honest with it.
It's a stupid move to even do that. But no, look, Sebasa, Tio. Also, you want to fight corruption. Corruption now also opens or fighting. Oba yen one more yachi or more emiratre say ye far basic ye di o masem no. Where job mo. What type of corruption are you really fighting?
So what, Felix, so what does it mean? What should Ghanaians do? If we have a leader...
What Ghanaians are supposed to do is someone try some NDC, MPP, and I made them wahano and open their eyes. Once a thief, always a thief. I always quote this lady, Michelle Obama. She said something that is profound. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Don't think so, on this side. No, believe them, that is who they are. John Mahama 1 was thieving nation. How much more John Mahama 2? I'm like the chapter 2 where he's not coming back for chapter 3. And he only has 4 years. Why do you think he put all these young boys in all these strategic places? So that the same people can come and then bring him what he's supposed to have. I personally believe, say, this whole declaring of asset thing, it is nonsense. It is a non-starter. And so. Because we asset corner also were declared. How we sure said that is all. As he told us all the spoons he owns. Actually, you're using in our church. Because if you are declaring your asset, then you're supposed to declare everything.
So what should we do? I mean, these things, we should find a way of going around them to ensure the reasons why they were instituted. Because if assets are declared, somebody comes out to put out certain things that as belonging to him, and it turns out to be false. He has more than that, or
that is why even you see that is why even putting a date on it doesn't make sense. Okay, you give a directive, and then you expect that within a month, people that you see there are certain properties, Krana, like it is there, but people haven't even registered it yet. Is he aware of that? There are some MPs who own shops. Okay, they own big shops, big apartment.
Yeah, but Felix, listen. Before you get into this enterprise, you should have done what is expected of you. Anybody aspiring to, a political position, knowing that you'll be entrusted with a responsibility, should have prepared for all these things.
That is why I said, why now?
Properties that you have,
winning, like I always say. Okay, like I always say, Ebroche ha memete no. Ansa na yebefa say you do koye treasure, you do koye see. They make sure they dig you out and they find everything before they put you there. When I say he thinks backward, you see, sometimes when I say things about Mahama, it's not insult too. It is the traits he's showing. And you subina order nedino. But also what you say.
Yes,
because he damn well knows that somebody like Abu Jinapo, when he was the energy deputy minister, who later became acting minister, he brought in the Usain Bolt, I'm like meters.
Yes.
Those meters now, they credit goose.
Yeah.
It was him who brought that. It's Jinapo, and that is a case that actually found itself in the court of law. And John Mahama is aware of it. So if he really means well, why would you go bring somebody who has scammed the country already the first time you got a chance? And to forcing who is your finance minister did the same thing and cost us money. So if truly, John Mahama wants people who are not corrupt, why would he bring the same people that were standing trials and stuff like that to come and be the leaders of his department or of his ministries? Chairman, the same way I told you this in Ghana when I was in the studio. I said, all these things that you are seeing up and down is how John Mahama can strategically position his people. Now, one Kazakanu crew. Look at the people we have in NDC. Who knows mining? Who knows about minerals? Did he appoint any of them?
No.
Because some woman in Medjumano, so what they say. Intinia maybe wa on trend so on koye. But Sami Jefro no who. So what they are saying, they are John Mahama who be directing and say on koye no.
That's what you do. Okay.
How can you tell me somebody tell you, hey, we want 5,000 boys? And that alone makes him the CEO of YE. What to be that? We want 10,000 women to go to the voting center and go and see Jama. And for the Jama scene, Malik Basenteli has been able to mobilize 2,000 people. So let's go make him a CEO of a company. My own friend Enrique J, he sits on radio and TV. All his only job is insult Ranado, insult Baumia, insult Ranado. He is now what? He is now the CEO of NEIP, who is entitled to the same V8 he was complaining about. And scanner no moody and a V8 bebrena betwem and a V8 bebrena betwem V8 bebrena betwem making right now as we speak. Enrique J is also what enjoying the V8. I thought for somebody who cares about Ghana and cares about the public purse, he would have opted for a small car because the V8 takes a lot of petrol. So let me go for a smaller car to save the country. But that is what some of the prime ministers and the Inokrano, some of them take actually public transport. Some of them even drive their bikes to work. That is people who wants to work, who wants to save the nation money.
Some of them.
The only reason Enrique J was shouting too much on UTV and all these things was because Sikakona or didn't say bottom. And never bottom. He's justifying it. He's justifying it. So coming to tell us, John Mahama has declared this asset. Ekufuado declared this asset a long time ago. And our Ghanaians were not here when Ekufuado declared this asset. The 39 ministers who were at crucial vintage points in our country all had to declare their assets. My question is, how are we even sure Nanado declared all his assets? How are we sure that these ministers declared all their assets? And what shows that by declaring your assets, somebody is not going to be corrupt in your government? What is the guarantee? Mr. Bansa, the fact that I've declared my asset means that somebody will not steal in my department. Do I know who is coming in there and the mentality they are coming? Maybe I want to go there as the sector minister to bring a change. But the people I'm working with, honestly, they say, what asset that we declare, is that going to stop that person from corruption? No. To stop corruption, digitalization has to be paramount. To stop corruption, the Bawumia approach was the best way, whereby everything is accounted for. Let me just chip this in. Oh, thank God, I would have just forgotten. Minim say what to say, I say NSS. There is a ghost names and what's not. So, NDC one. God is going to deal bitterly with the leadership, especially the current leadership, for what they have done to their followers. They have, you see, they have inducted them with certain things for them to think certain way. That is not how to build a country. I'm telling you this. I would be very, very, very excuse me to use the word, raw in this approach. Let us take, for instance, when NPP, Dr. Bawumia, started talking about digitizing our pay structures in Ghana. That is how we got the Ghana.gov.pay. That is how we started paying people online, paying them into their bank account. You understand? When you do that, there is data collected, there is data stored. So everybody that got paid is accounted for. And because you are digitizing it, those people cannot collect their money no more. Thanks to Ghana Card. Thanks to Ghana Card. Meanwhile, the coming together of this Ghana Card was fully bastardized by the NDC.
Yeah, but they are now beginning to accept it as something that
they are beginning to accept.
It's viable.
They say no one who say
corruption.
Idea na ba umi person ye dey run the country no, and then they bet me am ya run because you guys fought against Ghana Card. Yeah, buy first time 248,000 names and you free snit payroll so. 200 and snit payroll, people that were dead, but people were collecting their money. Now, because of the Ghana Card, you cannot. If you are a civil servant of Ghana right now, and you are getting paid, and you travel outside the country, by the next month your pay will be cut. You won't get it again. But first, Nadia, even if you are not in the country, your pay will be coming because they think you are there.
Yeah, Felix, we have almost exhausted our time, you know. So, in effect, what you are saying is Mahama cannot fight corruption. By his nature, he can't fight corruption. So,
like I said, how can a thief fight a thief? How can Mahama, somebody who is globally known? We are not talking about just domestic scandals. So that is what people forget.
Oh, yeah.
Mahama is not only a local thief. He's an international thief. Like Fela said. Mahama is an international thief.